it like this? Like which way?
If you set it up that way.
Doesn't look like it because it's telling me, it's yelling at me.
Okay. So let's start here. Okay, so we're in Halachos Shomer, Reish Tzadi Aleph. We did Sif Beis last time, and now we're going to get into Sif Beis and Gimel together. Okay, we'll chazer over the idea. The idea basically is that a Shomer, and we're going to see this next week even stronger, a Shomer only becomes a Shomer when he's Mekabel Shmira. You have to actually formally accept upon yourself the din of Shmira. Next week we're going to talk pratim of what are you makabel. It's a very interesting chakira. Are you makabel to be a shomer, or are you makabel the dinim of the shmira? Whatever. Very interesting. Reish Tzadi Aleph, which in the booklet is page whatever. But we're not. But we're gonna do Sif Beis, which is going to be on page 24 of the booklet. So it's like this. What we discussed last time is if a person comes to you and says, "Can you become my shomer?" and you say yes. You can become my shomer. Please become my shomer. Yes, I'm willing to become your shomer. Then right away you have all the dinim of a shomer. The dinim of a shomer is that you're chayiv in pshia. You're chayiv if you're negligent on someone's item. And the din of a shomer is that if you are asked where's the item, you have to make. You could, if you're asked about where the item is, you have to make a shavua. So there's certain dinim of being a shomer. So how do you become a shomer? So we spoke out the Gemara and we spoke out the Shulchan Aruch that says, if you say, Hanach lefanai, put it down in front of me, you're becoming a shomer. If you say, Hanach stam, Hanach lefanecha, if you say, you watch it, but I'm around, then you're not a shomer. What if you say, Hanach stam? Leave it.
Are we talking about a fee?
No, we're talking about free. And you still have responsibility to it though. Right? So obviously the attorneys here in the shir all said, I don't understand the whole question, just say, I'm willing to watch it for you, but I'm signing the disclaimer that I'm not taking any chiyuvei shmira, I have no responsibility, and it's all on you. But for those of us, for the Hamoinam, they're not so malumid in all that. So what you don't know, you just said, yeah, well, I'll watch it, whatever. Right? So let's read again, page 24. Sif Beis and Gimel together, and it's we'll see what happens. One of the cases we'll discuss is the Geshmaka case. The case was that during the wartime, someone came to someone and said, I have expensive jewelry, I'm running away from my life. I heard you have a safe deposit box stuck in your wall somewhere. Can I put my stuff in your safe deposit box? And the person said, sure, you can put it in there. They didn't discuss you're chayiv shmira, you're not chayiv shmira. They put it in over there, and it ends up that they lose it. Okay, now as Rabbi Kalani said, shomer chinam is only chayiv on pshia; they're not chayiv on gneva va'aveda. So it's not clear exactly what the pshia was, but it ended up being some sort of negligence. They let someone into the house. They told someone where the box was. Maybe they felt they had to, whatever. But
or was it shul? You say it's for shul.
And maybe it's for shvua. Maybe it's for chiyuvei shvua. Right, so maybe at least you have to make a shavua that you didn't steal it. The Beis Din would say, fine, you're potter, but how do we know you didn't steal it? So the question is, did you become a shomer by allowing someone to put it in your safe deposit box? That's the Shaila Pischei Tshuva talks about.
How is that different than it came to Rebbe said last week with the chamor traveling and you put it back in the body?
We'll see.
It's similar,
but the Nesivis is mechalik. It's a Geshmaka nekuda here. So Sif Beis Shomer Chinam Hu Shehifkid Etzloi Kesef Oy Kalim Oy Behema Oy Kol Davar, that you put everything by me. Lishmar, the Nesivus says medayik those words. Lishmar, you gave it to me to watch. In other words, only if I'm a kabel shmira. Vehu kibel alav l'shoymrei, and I was makabel to be shomer. Vafilu loy kibel beferish, ella she'amar loy hanach lefanai. And even if he wasn't makabel beferish, but he just said, put it in front of me, who shomer chinam, he becomes a shomer chinam. Avalim amar loy hanach lefanecha, oy hanach stam. But if you just said, leave it there, oy she'amar loy harei habayis lefanecha, or you say, yeah, my house is there. If you want to put it in the house, go ahead. Afilu shomer chinam lehava, he doesn't even become a shomer chinam. Ve'ina chayiv shavua klal, he doesn't have to answer with a shavua. Aval mechayim. You should know, if you still have the item, you're going to be in chayim. Okay. Someone that was going on the derech, so in the case of the Chuvas Arash, that I hear that you're going from New York to Florida, and I say, look, I see you're driving. Can I put something on your roof? Yeah, put on my roof. I'm driving. My trunk is full. Everything's full. But if you want to put it on my roof, put it on the roof. The guy put it on the roof, and I drove away, and it wasn't tied to the roof, or something like that. In that case, he says you do become a shomer. However, the guy put it on the chamor, you went ahead and traveled, and then he went off to the side at a rest stop and it was stolen. So here is a case that is a big monkey wrench in the halacha. Even though I did not makabel shmira, and I didn't say, yes, I will become your shomer. I didn't say I will become your shomer. However, I did say, put it on my chamor, and it was clear that you're staying here, and I, as the bala chamor, am traveling. All of a sudden, there, I do become your shomer. And then it becomes a big issue. What is the difference between the two cases? Now, before we understand that fully,
Rishus itself, because it's Rishus.
What?
It's Rishus. Rishus is being konen.
No, because look at Siv Gimel. It's not just Rishus, because look at Siv Gimel. No, we didn't do Siv Gimel last time. Siv Gimel says like this: Bikesh chaveroi sheyitain loy Rishus lahachnis behemtoi on page 26. Bikesh mechaveroi sheyitin loy rishus lahachnis behemtoi oy peroisav lechatseroi. You asked your friend for permission to bring in your peiros or your behema to his chatzer. V'nasan loy rishus, and the owner of the chatzer gave permission. Yeah, I have some extra. I have some extra folding chairs. I have some extra folding chairs. From Sukkot, I have nowhere to keep them. Can I put them in your backyard? Yeah, no problem. You could go put them in the backyard. And I gave you permission, but I also didn't become a shomer. He is not chayiv as a shomer at all. Even though he told him, put it in my rishus. So putting in my rishus itself is not a chiluk. So now, this is a Gemara in Baba Kama. It's a machlokes Rebbe and the Chachamim, and we are paskening like Rebbe that you're not a shomer until you makabel shmira, even though I told you you can come into my chatzar. Okay, so before we analyze this, we have to see the shach, because the shach changes the whole thing. Look at the shach, which is the inside column, because these shulchan aruchs are printed backwards. It's in the inside. It's on page 26. It's the shach ois ches. It's the first thin line. L'chatseroi. The shach says something very important here. Zok the shach Dafka b'chotzer, aval hichnes in yonoi lebayis b'rshos stoma de milsa kibel alei balabayis netirus afilu l'rebi kenu ba'gois oshri perk shorsh nagach ma'or zarua v'chein ikar. Zokt the shach. No, the whole sugya that I'm not becoming a shomer when I give you permission is because I told you, yeah, put the chairs in my backyard. So I tell you to put the chairs in my backyard, I'm not mekabel as a shomer. But if I tell you put the chairs in my house, all of a sudden I'm becoming a shomer. That's what the Shach says. So major ufrais, major change in the whole sugya in Baba Kama. It's like a sif katan. By the way, this whole thing is talking about a chatzah, not a bias. Interestingly, the Gra says that this Shach is a Mafurusha Yerushalmi. Interesting Gra. The Gra says, Davka l'chatzer aval beis chayv. It's the fourth wide line of the Gra. It says like the Shach, Davka l'chatzer aval beis chayv, hagois ashri, v'cheinu b'Yerushalmi. It's a Beferish Yerushalmi. That bias is different. So now we have another parameter here. If you put it in my bias, then all of a sudden, if you put it in my bias, I'm for sure becoming a shomer. But if you put it in my chatzar, I'm not becoming a shomer. What's the difference between my bias and my chatzar? What? The height and level of shmira.
You leave things in your backyard, you already know there's a risk because it's not guarded as much. People do go into the backyard.
No, but if anything, the opposite then. If there's a heightened level of risk, then mistama, I'm relying on you to watch it for me.
No, you assume the risk when you put it in someone's backyard because you understand what a backyard means.
No, but you're also, maybe you could argue, I'm relying on you now. Because I'm good for putting it in a place that is not so shomer, so I want to make sure you're at least watching it.
Yeah. You
So
can't impose something you wouldn't impose on yourself.
The Nesivis says a different svar. The Pitzchei Tshuva brings down from the Nesivis a different chiluk between bias and chatzah. And this chiluk is going to be the fundamental chiluk between the two. And I think it brings out the point of the whole Tshuvas Harash and a lot of the other questions that we have. He says, because a chatzar, I don't mind if you come in periodically to check in on the item. A chatzar is pretty open. It's my backyard. Go in. It's there. The same way I told you, go in and put it down. I don't mind if you go in periodically and check it out. So Mamela, I know that you could still be involved as the owner. You as the owner could still be involved in the shmira of the item. So you are not completely relying on me because you know that I'm okay if you come in and check on it. But if I'm putting it in your house, I can't come into your house without permission. I can't really come into your house at all, really. So Mamela, I'm 100% relying on you because I'm out of the picture as the owner. I'm out of the picture. You know, the assumption is people don't just put their stuff in places that have no shmira. People are not mafkir their items. People want their things to be watched. So the question is the owner relying on the makabel of the shmira? So if the owner says, look, you told me to put it in your house. Obviously, I was relying on you to watch it because I can't watch it. I'm a sulik over here. I'm out of the picture. I can't come in and watch it. Must be that you're watching it. So if it must be that you're watching it and not me, so therefore I'm relying on you, and therefore you become the shomer if it's in your house. Masha'enkin in a chatzar, only if I told you beferish, I'll be the shomer as the owner of the chatzar. Otherwise, when I give you permission to put it in the chatzar, maybe I'm just saying you could put it in the backyard and you could come in and check periodically if you want to make sure it's safe. Check the matzav. That's fine. So therefore, the shach makes this chiluk. Now we understand. The shach says, now we understand the tshuvas harash. Because what's the yesod of the tshuvas harash? You put it in a place that you cannot really be involved. Because you know, I'm taking the chamor out of town. And I, the owner, am staying here. So when you're going to be traveling, you, the owner of the chamor, are taking the chamor out of town, right? It's clear to you, the owner, that of the chamor, that the mafkid, the owner of the item, is not involved. The owner of the shoes is not involved. He can't be involved. So therefore, it's similar to the case where you told me, put it in my house, where obviously the owner of the shoes cannot be involved, and automatically there's a Kabbalah Shmira from the Baal HaChamor. So this is the Yesod. When you tell someone, leave it here or whatever, is there a certain assumption that the owner could still be involved? If the owner could still be involved, then Lav Dafka, the Shomer is becoming a Shomer. But if the owner can't be involved, then the Shomer is becoming a Shomer because the owner of the item wasn't planning on being mafkir. Okay? However, there's one more knetch in this. And once you say this knetch, it wraps it up. That what happens if there's a third case? That you can't be involved, but you don't expect the owner to be involved either. What's the case? Let's say the case of the safe deposit box. When I tell you as an owner, right? Let's say I'm Ruben comes with the jewelry and asks Shimon, can I put this in your safe deposit box? Shimon says, sure, no problem. Now, on the one hand, you say, well, Ruben cannot come and check on that. So somebody's relying on Shimon. But on the other hand, he's not relying on Shimon either. He's relying on the safe deposit box. Because he's putting it in a makom Shomer. When you put it in a makom Shomer, you're not relying on yourself, but you're not relying on the owner either. You're relying on the safe deposit box. So the Nesivus says a svara that if you're putting it in be'etzem a makom Shomer, then you don't expect the owner to take shmira. This is a Nesivus' chiddush. So if the Nesivus wanted to paskin in the case where they what?
That's just like FDIC insured like for a bank. When it's someone's private home, you're expecting that person to take it.
It's a safe. You have a safe. I'm not here wondering, are you your cleaning lady came, where'd you put it? It's safe. It's in the safe place. I'm not relying on you personally to mekabel achrayos.
Doesn't need your day-to-day shmira.
Right. So again, the assumption of this whole sugya is that if I'm putting my stuff somewhere, I want it to be guarded. So there's three choices, essentially, and it has to be one of those three. No one is just mafkir their stuff. So it has to be one of those three. Either the owner of the jewelry is relying on himself. That would be the case where he asks the owner of the house, can I put it in your backyard? The owner assumes that of the house assumes that the owner of the jewelry will come in and check on the jewelry. He doesn't mind if he comes in and out. So he's relying on himself still. There's another case where I say put it in your house, but it's lavdavka the safest place. Then I'm relying on the owner of the house. That would be similar to the case where the owner of the chamor is leaving town. The owner of the jewelry or the shoes, in the case of the Rosh, is not around. Clearly, he's not making it hefker, and he's not around to watch it, and it's not a safe place because it's on top of a chamor. So obviously, he wanted that the owner of the chamor should become a shomer on it, and therefore the owner of the shor becomes the owner of the chamor becomes a shomer. Third case is I'm relying on the safe deposit box. I'm relying because it's a makom shomer, so I don't become a shomer at all there. I'm relying on the shmira of the makom.
So it comes out in all these three akimtas that without realizing anything, the action itself speaks for itself.
Yes.
You don't have to. Then you have to go into minhag makom and I guess all those other things. If this was a
is there legal halacha? Are there legal laws about shmira and all this, shomer chinam and all this stuff?
I'm saying you have a backyard. You have a backyard.
It's called Baylor and Bailey. First thing you learn in law school.
Yeah.
Rebbe, it's a big enough whether you have a backyard that has a picket fence or see-through fence versus you have these brick walls and you have these iron gates and and all these other things, security cameras. That l'chayra putting in the backyard is not the same than putting it in some. So if the action speaks for itself, that urbanization, then you have to look into. Okay,
so the chutzner in the times of the shach were open chatzers.
Right.
You want to know if it's a gufa locked chutzner that I can't come in either without looking like a ganif, right? I went once to I was in Frankfurt once, and I wanted to go to the cave of the Pnei Yeshua. The Pnei Yeshua and Nassan Adlon Hafla are in the old cemetery in Frankfurt. So you call the guy that's the shomer on it, whatever. So he's like, okay, I'll meet you there. Fine. I met the shomer. He's like, okay, so climb over the fence. Like, to climb over the fence, I didn't need you to come escort me. What's the nafkamina? Nafkamina is now I don't look like a ganif. That's all difference, right? So the if you're going to look like a ganif, right? So you're not interested in climbing over the fence.
What if it's you're saying that because it's like a safe deposit box, so that it's clear that he's not.
That case.
What if he's not relying on the owner for another? The owner's going out of town, so he knows not to rely on.
If the owner's going out of town, then it's pasha, then chanami. Then he's relying obviously on the owner's house. So why doesn't he just keep it on his own house? Because the owner's house is safer than his house.
Yeah, or he's walking by. Can I put this? He said, you could put it there, but I'm going out.
Okay, so that's obvious that he's only relying on the locks that are on the house. He's not relying on the shomer at all. Right. If the guy tells you, I'm going out of town, you can put it in my house if you want, so then it's clear that he's not being makabel shmira. Why are you putting it there? Because the house is like safe. It's safe. You have more cameras and a better alarm system than I do. Essentially.
Let's say, for example, you leave your house open, and the guy calls you on the phone, like, can I put it in your house? Sure, go ahead. You know, obviously if you're not there, so you can put it in your house.
If you're not there, I don't think there's a shaila. There's no shaila if you're not there. It's not even, it's obvious that you're not.
He calls you on the phone, put it in his house.
Okay, it's obvious that if you're not home, you're not becoming a shomer. He doesn't know that you're not home. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that case. I'm saying, but derech klal, if you're not home, it's obvious that you're not becoming a shomer.
But tonight you're gonna be home.
You're saying a very specific case. You're home or you're not home? You're not home 24. He's talking about you're going away for the summer.
Is it check that the shmira can be chal later, meaning the shmira?
Yeah, but if he's relying on the shmira of the house,
Okay, not everyone is home.
He's not relying on my shmira. He's relying on the house's shmira. So the house is a good shmira from mine before.
This is the fundamental yisoidus over here of the nesivis. This is the way the shach and the nesivis are learning up this chuvas harosh, and that's how they're coming out. There's three basic ifanim. There's when you're relying on the house. There's when you're relying on the person, and that's when you're putting it into a makom shomer. There's when you're relying on the person because it's not in a makom shomer and I have no access to it. And then there's when it's in a makom which is not mashumer, but I have access as the owner, so I'm not relying on him or the house. The owner of the home assumes that I'm continuing to take the matters into my own hands. Those are the three cases basically. Now, let me ask you a question. Back to the case we discussed last week. I'm still very confused about it, to be honest. But even based on this, I spent quite a while on getting these parameters clear. I still don't really I'm not fully comfortable with the airport case. I'm not clear in that case. The case is that I tell you, I see another firm guy, my little briefcase has my tefillin in it, I don't want to bring my tefillin into the bathroom, whatever. I tell the guy, here, I'm putting this down, are you going to stay here for a couple minutes? Yeah, no problem, just put it down here next to me. So it's hanach lefanai. But let's say he didn't say put it down next to me, just said put it down, fine, whatever. Yeah, no problem. He didn't say clearly I'm Mikal Shmir, he didn't say anything. So in that case, what exactly is going on? He's definitely not relying on the makom, because the makom is a very not a makom shomer. Very much not a makom shomer.
It seems that it should be self-understood that the owner of the item is assuming some responsibility from, say, he's taking a chance, because I'm just passing through there anyway. It's not a makom shmira, and I can't be a shomer the whole time because I'm just passing through. If my flight is called,
right.
I'm not going to hang
so
out.
I think that's the case also. I would think that to say the rush, you need a little bit more of a clear case where the owner of the item is totally mesulak. By definition, he's totally mesulak. Because the owner of the chamor is traveling, leaving town. And it's clear that he's leaving town, I'm staying here, so obviously I'm relying on you. But here, you're just as much here as I am. You're going to the bathroom, I also need to go to the bathroom. I mean, you want to put it here, it's not, he's not, the guy who's sitting and getting engrossed in his phone, or daf yomi, whatever. So, he's not taking any more achrayus than the owner. It doesn't make sense that he should take more achrayus than the owner. The owner just met this guy 3 seconds ago. The owner is definitely taking on some level of achrayus.
For appearances, so that the airport security doesn't think it's
exactly. He's basically telling him, the owner of the guy who's sitting there.
Pretend you're watching.
Right. He's basically saying, if you're okay having a firm guy next to your suitcase, then that's fine. That's really what he's saying. He's not telling him anything to do with I'm watching it. I don't want to take any achrayus. It's understood that this is not a case where like the case of the rush. The case of the rush, maybe what you said is maybe if I tell a guy I'm leaving town, right. The case of the rush was that the chamor is leaving town and the owner of the jewelry is staying put. What if you have the opposite case? The owner of the jewelry is leaving town, and he gives it to the owner of the chamor. Maybe there also I would hear it, because it's clear that you're leaving town. But in the case of the shuk, of an open shuk, the whole case of the Gemara is talking about an open shuk. I don't think that the Nesivis and the Shach would say that the person sitting there is taking any achrayus, in my opinion. I did see some Sfarim go back and forth on it, but to me it doesn't seem like that makes sense.
Would you agree if they're on the same flight, and the flight's not leaving for an hour,
But still, let's say I get thirsty. Let's say a guy doesn't show up for an hour.
Excuse me, you don't know that I have pre-boarding, you don't know I have first class, you don't know.
The boarding's not opening for another hour.
Okay, but I don't know.
I'm going for 10 minutes to the bathroom. Why can't I rely on you?
Because maybe I want a drink, maybe I want a coffee, maybe I'm
Are you okay if for 10 minutes I go to the
No,
bathroom?
why would-
ways that goes wrong.
Maybe I also have to go to.
We don't extend our rating sellers to that concept.
On the subject of airport, you have also the flip side. You have people leaving things.
Well, if you're in the lounge, that's the thing.
No, I'm saying you have people leaving things with people that are illegal. You know, can you take my film?
That was last month. That was last month. If you're a moiser, you're a malshin, you're giving to the government. That
I'm
was,
saying, so does that owner now take who's taking a price in something, but not knowing what it is, you know, or the ultimate destination of it?
If I'm watching your bag and the police come over to me and say, "Is this bag yours?" I'm going to say, "No, it's Zami Cohen's and he's in that bathroom."
exactly.
Is it Jack?
And you answered your own question then.
Self-understood
That's the
that
answer.
they're
I'm
not-
still watching it for you.
What?
If you're in an airport,
If I'm watching your wallet,
someone's
somebody, if you
What?
in an airport, someone's with the family, someone's busy with stuff. It's self-understood that the guy is not, that your bag is not my.
It's not his priority, right? Exactly.
Meaning, I'm sitting here, so you could leave it here.
I think it's all saying la fuke, leaving it in middle of the aisle in the hallway for 10 minutes while you're in the bathroom. Okay, so you want to put it next to a firm guy and it looks better. That's
Right, I'm
it.
saying you're in the shuk. I'm saying some salesman who's busy with the thing. You're like, can I put my thing here?
Right.
You're not expecting him to stop doing his business, to stop being whatever.
Yeah, I believe that the now that I think the Nesivus and the Shach would not apply here. It has to be a much more of a clear Kabbalah Sachrayis and a siluk. How do you say siluk? A total removal, I don't know, of the Achrayis of the owner. The owner's got to be completely out of it. If the owner's still in the airport, he's still flumping around, and he's taking he knows that it's not the most Makom Shomer, and he knows that the guy himself is not really interested in taking Shmira. It's clear to me that he's taking some level of Achrayis on this. Okay. What happens if, after a simcha, someone leaves something in your house? You know, you had a shalom zachar, and all of a sudden, when the people came, it was raining, and when they left, it wasn't. So all of a sudden, you have 3 raincoats left in your house, and something happened. Your cleaning lady comes and gets rid of them. So you told people you're allowed to come into your house. You told people they can put down their raincoat. Are you becoming a shomer chinam now until they come pick it up, or no? Because they never asked you for permission. What?
You didn't
But
you
it's
didn't
like
take any
public
flyers.
gathering, like a shul. Come to my shul, but I'm not responsible for leaving something there.
Right.
People understand when they put stuff down in somebody's house or in a shul that you're not responsible for it.
Even though it's my house, which we said the Shach says that when you put something in my house, I'm becoming a shomer. But that's only if you asked me permission to leave it in my house. If you didn't ask me permission to leave it in my house, I never told you to leave it in my house. So then I'm not
But
becoming a
everyone
shomer.
says, just throw your coat on that bed. I mean, you have 45 coats there. No one's
Right.
taking a crying.
Besides the boyer, that's a famous shiloh, but they all look the same. Okay, now the Pischei Tshuva here brings an interesting shiloh. He says a whole Yiddish shaklavatari over here, where it's in the Pischei Tshuva on page 26. He says, it's the last thin line. I'm a Tshuva Zechon Yosef, Oida Shatan Anifgad, Ki Be'ez Shebikshu Mimenu La'atzniya, Amar Beferish B'zeh Aloshen. What is it? He basically said in Yiddish, yeah, you want to put it in my house? No problem. It doesn't bother me. It's not going to hurt me. And he says what that meant was, I don't want to take any achrayis. I'm not becoming a shomer. Right? So in the end, the psak halacha was nearly bored that filu lefi pashas divrei harosh the babayis lo mekabel nitrus animili ba'achar shebikesh rishus mechaver lahachnes davar vam lehanach the yeshua dedaita she'enichen sham yishmer ba'atzmai. Mashing we need to do shamul shroitzim lahashos etfla hanadan vi mufkad etfla ad shas chasana vehema yashuvu lebeisa mul iram. He says, no matter what you said, even if you said, yeah, whatever, it doesn't bother me, just leave it here. But if I, the owner of the item, am telling you, I'm leaving town, can I leave it by you? Then it's understood to be Kabbalah Shmira, like we said before. Okay? So, it's interesting. I think that when we started the sugya, we would think that Shmira is not so common. But according to this, it comes up all the time. Anytime that it's clear from even if you didn't say Hareini, Makabal, Alai, Shomer Chinam, whatever, if it's clear from the circumstances you are being Makabal the Christ because he's relying on you, then you can become a Shomer Chinam. And same thing if you're transporting something from one city to the other, you become the Shomer Chinam. So if you tell the guy, yeah, you can put the thing on top of my car, you didn't tell him you tie it. He didn't tell you you tie it. He put it on top of the car and you drove off. You become a Shomer Chinam on that because he's obviously leaving it by you. He's leaving. Now you're a Shomer on it. Now you're going to start driving without checking if it's tied. That's a pshia.
He was pushing it.
No.
A rational, reasonable person doesn't just throw it on top of your thing and think that you're going to tie it.
Well, he actually, it depends if you're in the middle of tying everything down anyway.
I don't know what's going on.
Rebbe's Akimta was that I had the top free, I don't need, so go ahead, put it on the top. So it's clear, I'm not using it myself. Mashenkin, if you take most of the thing, yes, if I was using it myself.
Okay, I don't know. Bottom line is, you're starting the car, you're about to drive with someone's stuff on your roof, you better check that it's tied. You're a Shomer. Let me say you're a Shomer.
It's anyway dangerous to drive on the highway without things tied down. You get arrested for that.
Right, it's your own achrais anyway. You have your own thing to lose on that.
Right.
You forget his item. You don't feel like having.
That's lifney either. I mean, you're just putting it on top of his thing. You're not talking about in tie it down.
Okay, so I'm not. It doesn't matter.
It's got to be together.
I'm not understanding. I don't know what it lifnei either, but at the end of the day,
it's a Shano Haggis, but I don't know. It's not.
Common case. He has a case here. You bought something in the store, and after you bought it, you told the person, "Okay, I paid for it, credit card, everything. I don't have a car here or whatever. I'm doing a few more errands in the mall, whatever. Leave it here. I'll come back at the end of the day to pick it up." Is the owner of the store being Makabel Shmira? Ma'asim b'chol yomim, right?
I didn't make a kinyan on it yet, so it's still his.
No, I paid it.
I paid. You need a Mashiach to be kind of.
Here.
If you put the bags, put it by the cash register. Then he didn't Mashiach?
It's in their shus. Okay, let's say you own it somehow. I hear what you're saying. So he wants to say, what does he say? He wants to say that if he says hanach stam, hanach kan, it's like a bias. A bias is like you bring kamel shmir, and he wants to use the nesivus for this again.
Absolutely not. I can stay in the store as long as I want.
Well,
he's not kicking me out of the store.
Right. And even when I said, it depends what I told him. If I said, I think it depends on the case. If I say, I bought this for my sister-in-law, and she's coming in next week, and I'll give them the receipt, they'll come pick it up in 3 weeks from now. So then maybe you are being Kabbalah Shmira because it's clear that you're not around. But if you just say, I'm going to run some errands, I'll be right back, then Mistama, you would have the story we're saying by the airport. That come back anytime you want. But if it's clear that you're Masulik, that's I'm not coming back, the person that's coming back is out of town, and it's their item, then it will be a problem. Okay, so I think these are the klolim. The pratim are many, but these are the klolim. Okay, I don't know if it recorded. All right, but next week we're gonna have a gevaldik shayla of what's the halacha if you are not aware of the value of the item. Right? So we established pretty clearly you have to be makabel shmira. But let's say you're makabel shmira, you don't know what it is. The guy gave you a Rolex. You know this guy. You assume that it's fake. Right? There's no way this guy has a real watch. Right? So it gets stolen. The next thing you know, he brings you the receipt. No, this was a gift from my grandmother. This is the real deal. Well, I was never makabel of that. I thought it was fake. does the value of the item go into the Kabbalah? Well, the first step we established, Sif Beis Gimel, is that you have to be Makabel Shmira. Now we're going to get into Sif Daled. What about the value of the item? Does that go into the Kabbalah Shmira also? Do you have to Makabel on yourself the particular value of the item?
The situation where he said speaks for itself and it automatically creates a Shmira that has no relevancy. The Mitzias, it created the Shmira. So then why does it make a difference?
So
now you have to go back and say it's not just the Mitzias of the situation.
Right. So you're right. So that's why there's a 3-column K'tzais HaChoshen on this question. There's a 3-column K'tzais HaChoshen on this question to get into it. So, go ahead.